It was pretty. It was gritty. And I love the way that these guys attacked this game. And it was one of those where, they came out the gates a little tight. I thought the Lakers defense was really good. Give credit to them. But I felt confident going into that second half, man. I just felt like they were gonna lock in and things were gonna open up for them, and it did. And once again, give credit to this Knicks defense. They almost got another one under 100, and this Laker team had been coming in. They put up 142 against the Wizards, and yes, I know it's the Wizards. And yes, they're without Austin Reeves and all that. We can talk about all that. But look, Luka was still playing at a high level. You still got to deal with the King and how this team flows off of those guys. But I thought the Knicks defense, by and large, locked in and got the stops that they needed to and got the timely stops. And especially in that third quarter, it started to open up. McCall attacking the basket. He gets in for a dunk. Karl Anthony Towns, I believe he had 4 points or so in that third quarter. The dog, OG Anunoby, he finished the third quarter strong. So once that third quarter came in, I said, all right, I think we should be okay to put this away. OG. Since that call with DJ Legend, who was ready to send OG to Milwaukee, and I said, call back anytime, basically. And for lack of a better word, told my man, call back anytime, because he's showing us, fellas, what it is. You have a two-way force on your team. He's low maintenance, and he wants the responsibility. I've been telling you, OG wants to be one of the guys. Meaning one of the guys you can go to get you a bucket. And he's showing you that every time. And yeah, one time he got caught in a shot clock violation. He got caught in some loosey dribbles and things of that nature. It's not always going to be clean. But while Karl tries to figure out his way in this offense, and while Mike Brown tries to figure out how to get Karl more comfortable in this offense, OG says, come to me. I'm ready to go. Go to him. And that's what they're doing right now. And he's making them pay 25 points, efficiency, inside, outside. He's got to guard Luka and LeBron. He has to guard Luka and LeBron. And listen, Luka had his moments. Luka had his points. A lot of that was Luka Magic points. You know what I'm saying? Like those Luka Magic points where it's just like you tip your cap to him. Those tough shots.
Yep.
Those a lot of Luka's production tonight was off of those Luka Magic type of points. He's got to go to LeBron, right? And he's still giving you grittiness on the defensive end and really not breaking against those two guys. It was a hellacious performance by OG, man. And, give credit. Captain Clutch, 13 assists, 12, 13 assists in this one for Jalen Brunson. Just spraying it, just keeping it low-key, getting his guys involved. He almost had a triple-double tonight when he factor in the 7 rebounds on top of the 12 points. So great job by Jalen. Those two guys really led the way. And then, a lot of role plays. I know you guys talked about, you guys kind of debated the role plays of the night. I mean, there's a lot to go around. I love Josh's performance tonight. Josh continuing to play well, shooting the ball well. And one of the things I thought that helped the Knicks, especially when the Lakers defense was playing well, was they sped it up a little bit. They sped it up when they could to find the Lakers in those numbers mismatches so the Knicks could get some easier offense. And that kind of gave them momentum to get going. So I thought he's always a big part of that in terms of how the Knicks play with a little bit more pace. So he did a good job there. Josh Hart, 20 points, 8 for 11 for the field, and 3 or 4 from downtown. He had a great night. I thought he had a spectacular night. Landry Shamet, ladies and gentlemen, 23 points, 8 of 13 from the field, 6 of 10 from downtown. An excellent game from Landry Shamet, man. He was amazing tonight. And he continues to be efficient on both sides of the ball, especially on the offensive side when you can kick it out to him. He can be a bailout guy. He moves without the ball very well. Excellent cutter. But when I say efficient on the defensive side, I mean just making the right play. Making the right play. ball pressure, playing with intensity, and playing with smarts. And so, the funny thing is, I do find it very funny that like in the midst of this Knicks 6-game winning streak, people are still asking for Clarkson, and I'm just like, yo, who cares? Real talk. And look, it's nothing against Clarkson, fellas. It's absolutely nothing against Clarkson. Cardiac Clarkson, I'm a fan. When he's on, he's on. I'm rocking with it. But when he's off, go to the guys that are giving you the minutes. And one thing we kind of forgot about in the beginning of the season, when all things were equal, Shamet was getting more minutes than Clarkson, right? Like, Shamet was averaging more minutes than Clarkson in October and November. He just got hurt. And that's when Clarkson had to come in and contribute. The only difference now is that Kolek and Diawara are getting some more of those Clarkson minutes because those guys are filling a role that the Knicks need. In Diawara's case, yes, he's raw. He picked up the 3 fouls in the second quarter where things kind of got dicey. The Lakers got into the penalty early, but you need his size. You need his defense. We need stops. Look at where this Knicks defense has improved after that, a tough 11-game streak. For Kolek, he's giving you the playmaking you need as a pure point guard. I love the way Tyler Kolek attacked this game today, right? It was another test I was very much looking forward to. How is he going to handle Marcus Smart? The savvy, physical Marcus Smart. And the Lakers tried their best. They applied a lot of ball pressure on Tyler. And for the most part, I thought he passed the test. 8 points, 4 dimes to Tyler. He gave the Knicks much-needed playmaking when Jalen was on the bench. So, like, those guys, man, when you factor in Shamet, his shot-making ability, Kolek, Diawara, like, all those guys, like, you can understand why Clarkson is not playing. Right. He will get his moments, but right now it's just not it. When Deuce comes back, it's going to be even harder. So, look, for right now, Clarkson will get his time, but overall, this is another full squad effort tonight where everybody contributed. Everybody that played, I thought, contributed by and large. Diawara's minutes was kind of tough for him. He had tough job, handling LeBron and Luka and stuff like that. But by and large, I thought everybody really contributed in a positive way, man. Great win. Good win for the squad, man.
The player of the game, none other than the man who's been on a hot streak right now, OG Anunoby, your boy Ogugua.
Yeah, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
OG with 25 points tonight, 9 of 15 from the field, 4-8 from downtown. Missed 1 free throw, but still went 3 of 4 from the free throw line. 8 boards, 3 assists, 3 steals, man. 3 steals. And out of those 8 boards, 3 of them were offensive. OG was all over the place tonight. Not only was he there offensively for this team, defensively too, because he had the assignment of LeBron James and Luka Dončić, depending who was on the court, whether it was on his team or just, if he was just sharing the court with just Luka or if LeBron was there. He still was doing the damn thing out there, man, just by making sure that none of those guys really had crazy nights. I mean, look, you're not going to stop Luka completely. He had his 30 points, but he made life a little bit difficult for Luka tonight because Luka had to take 23 shots, only made 10, had to get to the free throw line a little bit in order to get his 30 points. So Luka had to work. And then LeBron is still LeBron James. Got his 22 points, but nothing crazy, man. It's no 35, 40 some odd points
that we're used to.
OG was keeping these guys in check, man, being physical, using that wingspan, giving those guys some resistance. And so for him to have to guard both of those guys tonight, and then on top of that, pour in 25 points and do it efficiently and effectively while you don't have Brunson or Cat, who are your 2 offensive pillars, giving you that much production tonight. Hell of a game by OG Anunoby tonight, man. OG was on fire.
Yeah, and you know what? You gotta give OG his flowers for this winning streak in general. We talked about it. Hell, I think the last time you and me were on post together, we were talking about how raggedy his 3-point shooting was to that point from the injury. And if we go back just in these 6 wins alone, OG Anunoby in 4 of those 6 games, he's had 20+ points. And more importantly to me than that, he's shooting well above 60% in all those games. So, in 4 of those 6 games. So OG is finding his stroke. That's what we've been waiting for with OG Anunoby. Yeah, pause. But like at the end of last season, we saw OG shooting from the mid-range, looking like a Kawhi Light and doing all these different things. And in the beginning of this year, it was none of that. Now, as 2026 begins, OG Anunoby seems to be going back to that. The confidence is back. The shot is there. The defense is suffocating. My man OG is doing his thing, and I'm glad that he's continuing to roll. But we have a big week, so I want to see, man, is this real or is this a little bit streaky? I think OG is the real deal. Great game today. And, yeah, man, guarding up Luka and LeBron the way he did is not an easy feat, and I think he did a great job. I understand Luka still got his stats, but at the same time, it was very timely in the way that he got some of those stops and forced him to take some uncomfortable shots, which helped the Knicks gain their lead. So all those other stats were empty at that point. So let's go, OG. Oh, go.
Here's OG's stats, where he's averaging over the last 4 games. Over the last 4 games, he's averaging 22 points, shooting 64% from the field, 52% from downtown on over 5 attempts per game, getting you about, close to 5 boards, and then 3 assists. But the big thing for me right now that I'm looking at for OG is the amount of steals he's getting. He's averaging 2.5 steals per game, and just slightly under 1 block. My man is a plus 12.3 over the last 4 games. OG has just been on fire, man. And, you had Mike Brown talking about there should be about 3 guys from this team who should be representing an all-star. And if I had to pick my choice, it would be OG. I know he had a little bit of a down performance during that losing streak through January. But the reality is, when you watch what he was doing at the beginning of the season, injury then came when he came back from injury, and prior to January, dude has just been performing all throughout the regular season, and has been, quite honestly, the third guy, the third option. And I think the most impressive thing about him right now, CK, is that he is not. It's like at the beginning of the season, it was just dunks and threes. It was truly just dunks and threes, which was getting the majority of his points. When you're watching him now, he's creating for himself, and not, like how Brunson creates for himself. It's not like this continuous dribble where he can get to anywhere on the floor. He's being decisive, doing about 2-3 dribbles, either driving, getting to a mid-range, step back, just finding his spots and not doing too much. But even with just the 2 to 3 dribbles to find anywhere he wants on the court, it's just an added dimension to his game. We've seen a little bit since he's joined, when he was traded here after RJ and IQ got shipped out to Toronto, but he's really added more and more to it over the last couple of years. I think now, even with the shaking dribbling, man, that we saw from him, where it's like, yo, man, do not put the ball on the deck.
Less is more.
But now,
less is more for him.
Now I could say, hey, you know what? If you're going to be doing this on the regular, you're okay, man. You're okay. You can get the green light.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's what I was mentioning, because you just said it right there at the end. We saw him open that up towards the end of last season, and it had a lot of us all excited. We're like, we didn't know OG had this in him. He's shooting fadeaway jumpers on the elbow, high post fades and stuff. Things that we never seen him do in Toronto. But then this season begins, and like you mentioned, it was just dunks and threes. So it seems like now, he's had enough. He's heard all the talk. He's seen enough of the film of him not doing much of anything, and something just clicked in his brain, and it's been consistent. So let's hope that this is how it goes from here on out. So, Ogugua! We can talk about this day in, day out about him being player of the game. I'm here for it. Let's go, OG.
Let's get to the role player of the game, CK. And I'm gonna throw it to you, man. Who is your role player of the game? Who are you going with?
I wanted to give it to the other guy. Maybe you might, because I think he deserves it just as much. But like I mentioned, I think I spoiled it already. You guys know I'm Bridges Hive, but today Bridges didn't look great, but somebody did in the absence of Mikal Bridges, and that's my role player of the game easily. Landry Shamet. Wow. Landry Shamet was crazy today, man. Off the bench, giving us 23. With Deuce being out, it's really important that anybody steps up that's getting those kind of minutes. We know Clarkson is in purgatory right now, so he's not getting those opportunities. Deuce is out. Who is it going to be that's going to be that scoring option off of the bench? And then on top of that, you got my guy Bridges with only 10 today, 5 of 12 from the field. We need points. Landry Shamet said, oh, my shoulder's feeling cool. I do got a pretty cool looking shot. I got you. I got you. So Sham, wow, stepped in there, 23 points, man, 8 of 13, looking confident. And the Lakers, man, shout out to the Los Angeles Lakers for helping us out, because the amount of times they left them open in the clutch as well, man, it was a perfect storm. So yeah, it would be crazy to not go Landry Shamet. There's only one other option. I'm wondering if that's where you're going to go. Shamet, definitely my role player of the game, stepped in when Bridges had a rough one. He did his job. That is what playoff teams do. That's the beauty of depth. Landry Shamet had a great game. Role player of the game. Easy to Sham wow.
Sham, wow. I mean, look, man, in 26 minutes, he had 23 points, as you mentioned, 8 of 13 from the field, 6 of 10 from downtown. That's the craziest thing. He shot 60% from behind the arc, man. You know, only hit one of his 2 free throws, but still got 3 boards, the 1 assist. And look, I thought Shamet was just out hustling everybody on the Lakers, man. Even on the Knicks, I was like, damn, this guy is going at like 150 miles per hour. And I mean, the one play that really stood out to me outside of the 3-point shooting, man, because the one that was great to me is that he had 2-3 opportunities, and it wasn't until Mitchell Robinson out rebounded. I want to say it was either Rui or LeBron that got that board. Shamet just goes bolting to the right corner, and next thing you know, he just puts up a 3 and just drills it. And I'm like, damn, that's one. The second one is the layup that he had, because it was kind of like a little slight Michael Jordan-esque, man. He went with a slight up and under to get that one through. I was like, okay, my man's got the speed. See, Landry Shamet put on some weight too. All right, he's getting those gains in, but Shamet definitely did have a great night, man. And as you pointed out, this is the thing about depth, man, and this is the one thing. Even with going through the losing streak and some of the questionable decision making we've seen from Mike Brown this season, man, like nobody's perfect, no head coach is perfect. Everyone's got their flaws, right? We can go to task on saying, hey, Mike Brown, why aren't you challenging? Why aren't you always arguing? Although he did start to argue for Cat tonight for some of these fouls, man. I did like to see that. I did like needs to dial it up a little bit more, man. I did like some of the excitement, but you gotta still dial it up a little more, man. Because good Lord, I know Cat cries too much about getting fouled, but damn, some of these things are just getting egregious at this point, man. I don't know what the refs are looking at. Nevertheless, getting back to it, like the way that, you know, the thing about Mike Brown that I really do like, even though he does have his flaws, giving guys second, third, fourth chance opportunities. And McBride nursing an ankle injury that he got back in December, feels a little sore, as according to Ian Begley. McBride is just nursing it, just making sure that everything is fine.
Right.
But what does that do, man? It opens up opportunities for Tyler Kolek to get back out there. It gives even more leeway for Landry Shamet. And with Jordan Clarkson being out of the rotation right now, and just leaning into Landry Shamet returning and believing in him after coming back from a shoulder injury to still be productive, you gotta like that aspect about Mike Brown and utilizing the depth that we have. I mean, even Diawara getting some minutes today. I thought he was going to get more after knocking down that 3. I was like, ooh, okay, Bo. You might get some more minutes tonight, but only tapped out with 5. But getting back to Landry Shamet, yeah, man. I mean, I just like that, like Mike Brown continues to believe in these guys, man. And look, Shamet is clearly here to stay. I think what Mike Brown likes is his hustle. He's a very active defender, not a lockdown defender, but very active, willing to fight around screens. Willing just to close out at 100 miles an hour, something that has plagued this Knicks team even from last season when it comes to defending 3. So I see him being a mainstay, and it's nights like tonight where, you know, we saw what he did against Miami, right, for the Cup tournament, and now you're getting another night like this where he goes 8 of 13 and just gives you 23 points. Landry Shamet just continues to be a dynamo for this team coming off the bench, man. So even though that's your role player of the game, that is not my role player of the game, though.
Who you got?
It's Josh Hart, man.
Yeah.
The X Factor.
I'm cool with that.
All right. The heart of the team, the heart and soul of the team, the man who constantly brings the energy, the guy who constantly brings that aggression. Josh Hart played 36 minutes tonight, got you 20 points, another efficient scoring night for him, man. 8 of 11 from the field. Confident from 3, 3 of 4 from downtown. Got you 4 boards, 2 assists. Okay, 1 block as well. Okay, that block on Rui. Luka thought he had that easy lay in. He was like, touchdown pass, man. Thought he was looking like Tom Brady out there. Josh Hart said, hell nah. Get that stuff out of here, man. Not today. Not in my house. I love that play, man. Absolutely love that play. But Josh Hart just continued to be that aggressor, man, and bringing you that energy that surely needed and was missed when he was injured when the Knicks were on that West Coast team. You need somebody who's just not afraid of anybody who's going up against, and that is Josh Hart. And so I feel like when he is just fully bought in and engaged in any game, it just trickles down to everybody else, and you start to see that hustle with, like I said, Towns, Bridges, Brunson, guys who weren't necessarily shooting well tonight, but had solid enough floor games that they were able to work collectively as a team and still get this win over a Lakers team that, look, even though they're not, and this is what Trevor said, man. Trevor said they are not that this is not a championship team. This is not like one of the top 2 teams that's going to be winning, hoisting the title at the end of the year. Nevertheless, they're still very competitive, and for this Knicks team who's gone through their woes this January to come out and compete against a team that's still top 5 in the Western Conference, a stacked Western Conference, you got to like how these guys are responding and the energy that Josh Hart leads with this team and brought it tonight, man.
All right, let's get to the key stats, and then we'll close it out with our callers. Key stats of the night, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you guys by Z-Biotics. Knicks shot 47% from the field, 45% for the Lakers. Here was a difference here. 43% from downtown. The Knicks shot 18 of 42. Both teams took 42 threes. Lakers shot 29% from downtown. Charity stripe wasn't too kind for the Knicks. Only 11 attempts, 73% from the charity stripe to 63 for the Lakers. Knicks did win the rebounding battle, 46-36. 30 assists for the Knicks on 43 made field goals. Great offense, efficient night for the Knicks, and good ball movement as well. And then turnovers, fellas, back to keeping it low. 10 turnovers, only leading to 10 Laker points, but the Knicks very opportunistic. 11 Laker turnovers leading to 19 Knicks points. So great job by the Knicks there. They also won the fast break battle 16-7. Won the points in the paint battle 46-40. And then largest lead of the night, 13 for the Knicks, 9 for the Lakers, and kind of even in terms of how this game went. Knicks just pulled ahead in that second half. Al, what was your notable stat, man?
Biggest takeaway was the fast break points. Talked about it with Trevor Lane on the game preview yesterday. Both these teams are pretty slow when it comes to pace of the game. And I said to him, outside of rebounding, the biggest one was who's going to take the easy opportunities in tonight's matchup, which leads to fast break points. And tonight was the New York Knicks, man. 16-7. Now it's not like it's not, a mountain that they create out of here, out of fast break opportunities, but still to see the Knicks just greatly outpace the Lakers with regards to speed in order to get these easy buckets. That's what you want to see on a night-to-night basis. 16-7 is still a good still a good difference in the game. And then the other one for me is obviously the rebounding battle, which talked about with Trevor Lane as well, where I said, look, if whoever wins the rebounding battle is going to be the team that most likely wins, and
Nice.
which leads to second chance opportunities. Knicks did that tonight as well, 46-36. So those are my 2 key stats for tonight.
Well done.
CK, how about you, man?
The same way that Landry Shamet is impacting his Instagram page today after that post with the picture, he impacted my favorite stat of the night, and that was the bench points, man. I say it all the time, especially when nights where Deuce McBride is not available. I'm always looking at the bench. Who's going to be the guy or guys and that's going to help provide, because we need bench points for us to stay in these games. And I think that Landry Shamet, as we talked about, my role player of the game, did a great job with that. Also, we cannot forget Tyler Kolek in that first half. Love that we beat them in the bench point battle 34-23. Again, yeah, bench points to me are huge. And then if I were to have a second one, points off of turnovers, because we talked so much about how much we turned the ball over. We're going back to what worked for us leading up to the NBA Cup, and that was scoring off of turnovers, because points off of turnovers more times than not equals good defense being played. So those are my 2 favorite stats for sure.
Yeah, good one. For me, I'm going to go with the turnovers, man. They kept it low again and limited the damage, most importantly. They did that against Portland, and they did that against the Lakers. This is who this Knicks team is, by and large, when you have Brunson at the helm, and then when Kolek comes in as well. You got to limit the damage off for those turnovers. You don't want to give the other team any more ammunition to kill you and any momentum in these games. So great job by the Knicks really taking care of the ball, because that will allow you to stay in these games when you're down and trying to get back into it. So I think overall, good job there. The key stats of the night, ladies and gentlemen, man, brought to you guys by Z-Biotics, man. Shout out to Z-Biotics. The scientific pre alcohol drink. Now, listen, fellas, I'm not as young as I used to be. I'm not a young whippersnapper like you guys, man. So when I do go out, yeah, I like to turn up. I like to do my thing, but it's kind of hard to recover sometimes. But that's where Z-Biotics comes in, man. As I said, the scientific pre-alcohol drink. You take it before you turn up for the night. And trust me, you're going to be good in the morning, man. A lot of us, you got responsibilities. You got to take the kids to school. You got to get some work done the next day. You got to get to the gym, all these type of things. We all got a lot of responsibilities. So taking the Z-Biotics after a night out will certainly help you later. Because like I said, if you're like me, as you get older, it gets harder and harder to recover from those nights. You know, you have a lot of fun, but it gets harder to recover. But you take one of those Z-Biotics, and trust me, you will feel much better in the morning. And for our subscribers, for our viewers, rather, head over to zbiotics.com/KFTV for 15% off your order. And let them know, man, the good people at KFTV sent you. So once again, shout out to Z-Biotics for sponsoring today's show. And the website again is zbiotics.com/KFTV for 15% off your order.
Good game tonight. I think the first half, I'm kind of concerned with how the team comes out in the first half. It's still not as tight as it should be on the defensive end. But you know, we kind of come out these games early. We hit back-to-back threes to open up the game. I don't know if you guys noticed. Ian Begley tweeted it actually like an hour ago. He said that the Knicks pretty much credited their change in the defensive switch to their assistant head coach. Not one of the assistant coaches. Sorry, like a dude on the bench. Darren something is his name. Basically, he told the team to funnel the opposing wings to the baseline. What they were doing was pretty much letting them, like, forcing opposing teams middle, which is unheard of. So that's one of the tricks that they tried to keep. But CP, I know you talked about it earlier. I'm noticing obviously that they're keeping Cat like on the bench to close these games, which is kind of telling. It's kind of like you're saying, all right, we gotta close with defense. Cat has become, you know, I don't. He's got to pick up the scoring. I mean, in order to be, he's got to get his shooting touch back. I know we're kind of using him as a hub, but I'd like to see him like get some more threes up. And then finally, it's funny, man. Like we paid Clarkson and Yabu to be the guys off the bench, and now we got Kolik and Shamet, right? So I mean, what we do at the deadline, I don't see, like everybody else is noticing it, right? We're not going to trade Giannis. I don't see that trade happening right now. I see it probably bleeding into the summer. But if we can make some moves on the margin, I feel like you should probably keep Kolik if you want to move for, like, you know, like a smaller time deal. Keep Kolik and then probably try to get like a Misi.